Over the past 6 months, I've been testing out off-meta teams in Genshin, but today we're gonna find out which one of those 16 teams is the best and a true all-star. Hello everybody, my name is TyPom and I would like to thank you for joining me today for the season finale of Off-Meta. Today, as previously mentioned, we will be pinning 16 off-meta teams against each other in the Spiral Abyss. To make sure we understand how everything works, I'll go over the rules of the competition quickly. The 16 teams competing today have been separated into 4 groups of 4. Within these groups, the teams will compete against each other to get the fastest time on Floor 12, Chamber 1, first half of the Spiral Abyss. The teams with the fastest time will move on to the semifinals against Chamber 2. The 2 teams with the fastest time will then move on to Chamber 3, and the team who gets the fastest time there will be crowned Meta. Now, before we get started, here's my disclaimer. All characters and teams have been adapted as faithfully as possible from their original episode. For the purposes of this competition, I've tried to make sure every team and character has an even amount of investment into talents, artifacts, etc. Please note, at the end of the day, this competition is for fun and should not be taken seriously. With all that out of the way, let's begin the Off-Meta All-Stars competition by taking a look at the group and all the contestants. Starting off with Group 1, we have DPS Faruzan, Vaporize Thoma, Burgeon Arlecchino, and DPS Gaming. DPS Faruzan has also been voted the fan favorite from this group. Moving on to Group 2, we have DPS Yanfei, the Pokémon team, Plunge Gorou, and Aggravate Sethos. DPS Yanfei has been voted the fan favorite from this group. Up next, from Group number 3, we have the Husbando team, DPS Sigewinne, Flex Tape Itto, and Bloom Kaveh. DPS Sigewinne has been voted the fan favorite from this group. Finally, in Group number 4, we have DPS Kuki, Childe Monohydro, DPS Emilie, and Sub-DPS Kirara. DPS Emilie has been voted the fan favorite from this group. Now that we've met all our contestants from each group, I think it's about time we start this competition. Group number 1, you're up! Starting us off with seed number 1, DPS Faruzan, and seed number 4, DPS Gaming, both going after the PMA. Their team setups both utilize Freenet to help boost up their damage as much as possible. Now, Gaming definitely has a slight edge over Faruzan here because he can vaporize his damage. Let's fast forward now to when they both knock down the PMA. Gaming is indeed leading in this area, but Faruzan is not too far behind, so she may have a comeback. And it looks like Faruzan does manage to take down the second robot faster than Gaming, but unfortunately that vaporized damage is too much for Faruzan to handle. Gaming clears this chamber in 9 minutes and 11 seconds, with Faruzan only 2 seconds behind at 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Moving on to seed number 2, DPS Arlecchino, and seed number 3, DPS Thoma. They are both very unconventional teams, but off-meta nonetheless. We can see Arlecchino's team is struggling to take the health off the PMA, while DPS Thoma is making some pretty quick work of it. After only a few more taps, Thoma is now going at those robots while Arlecchino's team continues to struggle. After another very solid rotation from Thoma and some very nice vaporized damage, Thoma's team takes it home with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock, leaving Arlecchino in the dust trying to take the PMA down. Let's fast forward to the end of her completion. Big letdown. With the time of 7 minutes and 58 seconds, Arlecchino is our slowest team so far. What an exhilarating first match. Now it's time to announce the winner from group number 1. It's DPS Gaming with the fastest clear time of 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Congrats Gaming, you get to move on to the semi-finals. Now, let's not waste any time celebrating though. Let's keep the energy going and take a look at group number 2. Starting us off from group number 2, we have seed number 1, DPS Yanfei, and seed number 4, Plunge Gorou. Fun fact, Plunge Gorou was the first team ever featured in the off-meta series. Anyway, Yanfei is starting us off strong by taking an early lead. This lead continues to hold very strong as she does manage to get the robots to drop first. Not only that, but she's also able to kill a robot in the time it took Gorou to get to his. And would you look at that, Yanfei has just knocked down the PMA in 8 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's fast forward a bit now to the end of Gorou's chamber. Not a bad time, but Yanfei has him beat. Switching to the other side, we see seed number 2, the Pokemon team, and seed number 3, Aggravate Sethos. As I am seeing right now, both teams are dealing very similar amounts of damage. Sethos definitely has the advantage though, as he managed to get the robots to drop and is now working on taking them down. At this point, the Pokemon team has fallen behind by quite a bit, and the chances of them catching up are not looking too good. Sethos manages to take down his robot, and not too soon after, he finishes that chamber in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. The Pokemon team aren't too far behind though, scoring a time of 8 minutes and 37 seconds, tying up with Gorou. Well, it looks like I won't be getting sued today, because Yanfei has just secured the fastest time from group number 2 at 8 minutes and 58 seconds. All those Yanfei fans who voted for her must be super proud of her right now. Although, we'll have to be proud of her later, because we gotta get a move on and take a look at group number 3. Starting us off in group number 3, we have seed number 1, DPS Sigewinne, and seed number 4, Flex Tape Itto. Both teams get off to a very strong start, getting through all their bursts and starting their rotation. So far, both teams are doing very even damage to the PMA. It's so tied right now, both teams have gotten their robots down at the same time. Get prepared for a close one, folks. DPS Sigewinne and her team seem to have knocked down their robot first, but can they take down the PMA? Here comes Itto team right on their tail though, and look at that. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Let's get a live replay and slow that down. It seems both teams have completed this chamber in 9 minutes and 7 seconds. After slowing down the footage though, I have made the official call that Sigewinne did complete this chamber just a few frames faster than Itto. It's sad to say, but Itto, it seems Sigewinne is moving on by just the skin of her teeth. Next up, we have seed number 2, the Husbando team, versus seed number 3, Bloom Kaveh. Both teams are very, very strong in my opinion, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Now, Kaveh's known for not being a great unit, but it seems his blooms are packing quite a punch compared to the daddies on the other side. It looks like all those blooms are working their explosive magic, because Kaveh has got the robots to drop down first and is going after them quite fast. The Husbando team is trying its best to play catch-up right now, but it might be a lost cause at this point since Kaveh has just knocked down their robot and is going in for the kill. And just like that, Kaveh's Bloom team has finished off the PMA in 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Let's fast forward to the end of the Husbando's team chamber, where it seems they scored a time of 8 minutes and 54 seconds. With an incredibly close game, I'm proud to announce that the fan favorite team, DPS Sigewinne, has secured the fastest time from group number 3, clocking in at 9 minutes and 7 seconds, just a few frames ahead of Itto's team. We only have one more group to go through now, folks, so make sure you stay tuned because we are approaching the semi-finals quite quickly. Starting off with seed number 1, DPS Emilie versus seed number 4, Childe Monohydro. Both teams end up having a very good start, dealing a lot of damage to the PMA. Childe's team seems to have the slight edge over Emilie's, but I don't know how much longer that's gonna last for. Look at that. Emilie's team has pulled ahead, managing to get the robots to drop just before Childe. But is that enough to beat him? With Emilie's burst raining down on the robot and the PMA, it seems Emilie's team has just about pulled ahead and has taken it down in 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Childe team was not far behind though at 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Moving on to our final set now, we have seed number 2 with DPS Kuki versus seed number 3, DPS Kirara. It seems Kirara's team is definitely getting off to a stronger start than Kuki's, taking away chunks of the PMA's health while Kuki is struggling hard. Kuki is having a real bad time right now because Kirara has already got her robots to drop while Kuki is struggling to get it down to half health. It seems as though this battle is already over as Kirara goes to take down the robot and finishes off the PMA at a very decent time of 8 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's fast forward to the end of Kuki's chamber. It seems she cleared in an unfortunate 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Looks like the new character on the block, and again, the fan favorite DPS Emilie will be moving on to the semi-finals with a time of 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Joining her will be DPS Gaming, DPS Yanfei, and DPS Sigewinne. The competition is really heating up now, y'all, as only 2 teams can advance to the finals. Let's now move on to Chamber 2 of Floor 12 and find out who our finalists will be. Moving on to our first semi-final match, we have seed number 1, DPS Gaming versus seed number 4, DPS Emilie. Both characters, in my opinion, have shown to be very strong main DPS characters. It's a shame they aren't utilized more in the Abyss and aren't considered meta. Would you look at that though? Both teams are neck and neck. Emilie is taking down the Ruin Graders first, but Gaming is not too far behind. With both teams now setting up their second rotation, it's all going to come down who can deal the most damage to these wolves the quickest. And it seems as though we have an answer as Emilie has burned through them while Gaming is still jumping for his life. As Emilie finished setting up a rotation against the final wave, Gaming just starts to begin his. It looks like that last burst with Emilie was strong enough to knock down the first robot, and the second one falls right after, giving her a time of 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Gaming is only 1 second behind though at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. What an incredibly close and amazing match. Moving on now to seed number 2, DPS Yanfei, and seed number 3, DPS Sigewinne. Starting off from this battle, I would say that Yanfei definitely has the advantage going in because she is made to be a DPS, while Sigewinne is considered to be a bad support according to the fandom. Surprisingly though, DPS Sigewinne is the first team to take down the Ruin Graders, moving on to the wolves before Yanfei even finished defeating them. It looks like Yanfei may have to play a game of catch-up here, especially since Sigewinne's team has just taken down the wolves. It looks like Sigewinne is not slowing down though, plowing and throwing as much damage onto the robots as possible, making very quick work of them. Sigewinne clears a chamber in 8 minutes and 54 seconds, the fastest team out of the semi-finalists. Now let's speed up to the end of Yanfei's chamber. Ooh, unfortunately it seems Yanfei has quite a bit of trouble taking down those last robots, resulting in a less than ideal time of 8 minutes and 10 seconds. What a shocking turn of events, guys. DPS Gaming is eliminated along with Yanfei, making room for our 2 finalists, DPS Sigewinne and DPS Emilie. It is now my honor to present the final round of Off-Meta All-Stars. I will let this round play out in its entirety for your enjoyment. Now, let's see which one of our finalists can clear Chamber 3 the quickest. And there we have it, pom-poms. With an unexpected turn of events, DPS Sigewinne has won off Meta All-Stars, and it is my honor to declare her team meta. I would like to thank all of you for joining me today and supporting me throughout the off-meta series. It has been my honor to showcase all of these amazing teams to you. I would also like to thank all of our channel members, including PegZ_D, for helping to support me financially. Now, for the final time this season, make sure you don't forget to subscribe, and I will see y'all later.